Cool. So I'm live here on Instagram TV, and Facebook. This was not planned. I didn't have a special plan here to go live today, but something really spoke to me and I want to share it with all of you guys. I just got back from training someone at the gym. Like, this is just like super spontaneous, but I get a lot of questions all of the time from a lot of different people, from people I'm close to, from people that I've never met before, from all around the world. And sometimes people ask me these questions, and let me know if you guys can hear me and everything is good, but sometimes people ask me these questions and I'm in a space where I'm like, oh, I have a really good answer right now, or I've been there, or I read this today or the other day and this reminds me of what you've asked me, for example. And sometimes people ask me questions and I'm like, that's a great question. I'm not sure what I think about it. Let me think about it, sleep on it, and get back to you, for example. So over the last few days, I had two actually really close friends of mine ask me some questions. Perfect. So Peter on Instagram says loud and clear. So that's great. I'm glad that you guys can hear me loud and clear. So a friend of mine wrote me a message, and I'm just going to keep everyone anonymous, whatever. I have, a really core group of good friends back home. One of them asked me a question, and then this morning, another one of my really good friends, we were kind of having a conversation kind of surrounding the same topic. So it was, how do you stay so positive and resilient, and how to turn negative emotions into positive actions? And she had asked me like, hey, do you think that you can create some content around this topic of how to stay so positive and resilient and how to turn negative emotions into positive actions and whatever? And so I was like thinking about it a lot and like, let's just get something clear right now. So my life is not perfect. Like, I have shitty ass days, stressful days, but I've chosen to look at my life differently and talk to myself differently on a regular basis. Does that mean that sometimes I slip up and I find myself switching into old habits? Totally. But the main purpose here that I want to make sure that you guys know is like, I'm not walking around all the time, everything always perfect. But I clearly know, and I have seen it happen multiple times in my life and in other people's lives, that no matter what the heck is going on, the way that you interpret it yourself and the way that you see it and the way that your mind kind of adapts to it, and the way that you speak to yourself throughout that situation is everything. It's everything. It's just like how they say where you cry. In English, we say, cry over spilt milk. It's like, did you spill milk? Oh my God, I spilled milk. It's all over the floor. Now I have to clean, Or is it like, I just spilled some milk? It's really, really, really about how you say it, and practice that too. So really about how you say it. Is it a big, when you say it, what's your tone of voice? Whether that's in your head or coming out actually. Is it coming out in such a stressful way, or is it coming out in kind of like, it wasn't such a big kind of deal kind of way? So that's really something that's super important. But I wrote down actually 4 things I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to this. And the first one I already kind of touched on, but the first one is practice. So one of my biggest mentors and a guy that I talk about a lot, in fact, on my last story, I was just taking one of his courses, online courses, is Brendan Burchard. He says the power plant doesn't have energy, it generates energy. So just because I might be a positive person doesn't mean that I pressed a positivity button and then energized, more and more happy with myself. And it's not like a curve that goes like this. It's kind of a little bit more wavy, but you have to keep practicing. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. That comes with positivity, that comes with resilience, that comes with taking chances, that comes with turning negative emotions into positive. So sometimes a lot of what I talk about with mindset, myself and my partner, Diane Kaiser, who I talk with a lot, I was live here on with it as well. But sometimes people are like, It's like common knowledge isn't always common practice. And like in the moment when you're feeling shitty and stressed out and down, and like someone tells you like, okay, write down 3 things you're thankful for. And you're like, like that doesn't sound like it's going to work or whatever. But practice makes perfect. And things like that really, really do work. And they really, really do help. My father was a coach and an athlete. Growing up, I was an athlete as well. If you didn't practice, you weren't going to get there. And maybe you're just born talented and you're just born positive and you're just born resilient. But I don't care how talented you are in any field, practice and persistence beats talent every single time if talent doesn't work hard, period. So you have to practice it. You have to be okay with sometimes being like, shit, I really don't want to do this. I'm not in the mood to somehow turn this around, and do it anyway. And just do it anyway. Okay? So that's number 1 is practice. And number 2 is remind yourself. It's a training. I wrote here, it's a training. It's not a one-stop shop. So for example, like my alarm clock that wakes me up in the morning, it doesn't say alarm. You can change it. A lot of people don't know this, but when you're setting your alarm in the morning, I have an iPhone, so I can only speak for that, but you can click on where it says alarm and you can actually have it wake you up with the message. So every morning, my alarm goes off and it says, or when I do set an alarm, there's some days where I don't, and those are also really nice days as well. But it says positive, present, barrier breaker. So every morning when I wake up, I'm reminded, remember, we have to remind ourselves that I want to be positive, that I want to be present, and I want to break down barriers, big or small, personal or professional, helping others or helping myself. Generally, both happen at the same time. You're never really, at least me personally, I'm never really helping myself without sharing others. And anytime I'm helping others, it's also giving back to myself as well. So, and reminding yourself. So, Brendan also talks about, and I refer to Brendan a lot because I use a lot of his tips and tricks into my life and kind of transfer them into how it works for me and how I know all of my people and you guys, all of my friends here online are. He has a doorway cue. So anytime you walk through a doorway, what do you want those people in that room to feel from you? And for me, it's usually positive and present. Positive, present. I'm one of those people, and I posted about this the other day, where I'm constantly like, what's the next step? What's the next step? Like I want to see like what's next. But I want people when they're around me to feel like I am there with them, like I am present with them, like I'm not thinking about where I want to be next. So those 3 words, positive, present, and barrier breaker, are my 3 words. And that's how I wake myself up in the morning. I set reminders on my phone sometimes for the alarm to go off with those 3 words, positive, present, and barrier breaker, to go off when I know it's going to be a particularly stressful day or a long day. And every time I walk through a doorway, I think of that too. So that's the number 2 is remind yourself. Set reminders in your phone. I'm a big notes person, so I'll show you quickly here. I don't know if you guys can see it both on Facebook and Instagram, but I think you can. I have this doorway that goes into my kitchen, okay? And all along both sides are like notes from friends that have made me feel good, quotes that have spoken to me. There's like the save the date reminder from one of my best friend's weddings. Magnets from places that I've been that were exceptionally amazing. So for example, I have one from Prague when I went on this like special mission to go meet Teresa Harding from doTERRA at this one conference in Prague. And I was like in an Uber. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I wanted to meet this lady she's like the top level of doTERRA, the oils company that I also have a business in. And so it just, remind yourself, put yourself in an environment that always reminds you how freaking amazing you are and where you want to go and where you've been and all of that kind of stuff. So you need to remind yourself, however that manifests itself for you. So if you find yourself that you're on your phone all the time, we have people from Pakistan here on Instagram. Hi. So if you find yourself that you're on your phone a lot, so having phone reminders are the best, then cool. If you want to do reminders in a different way and have, things on your door or wherever. I do as many as I can. So I need reminders all of the time, or else I can't perform at a level that for me feels great, where at a level where I feel I'm fulfilling my purpose here on this planet. The third thing that I have here is that self-talk is everything. So the way that you talk to yourself during those times is everything. If you call yourself a failure, if you call yourself a shithead or an idiot or stupid or not good enough or all of those things, we're going to believe them. And let's see. I have it. Wait. Yes, I have this. So I have this I kept this up here. So I have these little notes and things everywhere. When I find things that I like, I literally sometimes just write them out, rip them down, put them up, whatever. But this one says, and this is from my You're a Badass calendar. One of my best friends, Sarah Boyle, gave me this book, and then she also gave me the calendar. It's a really good book by Jen Sincero if you're looking for a good book. It's called You Are a Badass. But it says, while there are countless ways that we rip ourselves off, there's only one way in particular that is without a doubt the most rampant and the most devastating of all. We invest everything we've got in believing we're not good enough. We arrive here as perfect little bundles of joy and then set about the task of learning how to unlove ourselves. How unbelievably ridiculous is that? So that's what this says here. And so this is just a reminder for me that like I can invest everything in believing I'm not good enough, or I can invest everything in believing that I'm here for a particular purpose and I'm here to execute it every day. And while I'm not perfect, I am me, and I am the only me. And self-talk is everything. And I am, for those that I have a lot of mentors and people that I follow a lot too. And Oprah Winfrey is one of them. I absolutely love Oprah. If you like Oprah and you're obsessed with Oprah like me, leave me a comment and let me know. But one thing she talks about in one of her, I don't know, I've exhausted all of her interviews on YouTube. I really think I've watched all of them and some of them multiple times. But one of them she talks about is I think she was on set somewhere and they had really long days, and she kept saying how tired she was. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. And then she realized, okay, the more I say I'm so tired, I'm so tired, I'm so tired, the more tired I get and the more I think about being tired. So instead, she switched that self-talk and said, I'm looking forward to my second wind. Now in English, I know I have a lot of non-native English speakers, but in second wind in English, when we say that, it means like that burst of energy, like that next wave. So maybe you were here and you kind of went down. This is that second wind here. So she changed her self-talk. I'm looking forward to my second wind. I'm looking forward to that second wind. Started focusing her energy on that second wind and got it, right? So self-talk is everything. And it's just as simple as taking out some of those can't words and those negative words like tired and not and putting out these good, positive manifestations on a regular basis. So for me, when I am stressed to the max, and things are going pretty intensely. I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God. I'm very open about that. But whatever, your higher power is, the universe, whatever it is that you are communicating with, hopefully on a regular basis and manifesting your dreams through. But for me, I say a silent prayer that says, thank you for allowing me to utilize my strengths and strengthen my weaknesses. So when I'm stressed and I'm struggling with something, I see that instead of saying like, oh, I suck at that, it's such a struggle, whatever, I'll just say, thank you for allowing me to strengthen my weaknesses. And so I don't know what that looks like and means for you. You can share it with me if you want. You can leave a comment down below. You can write to me on a private message, whatever. Someone asked me here if they could send me a text message. No, I'm sorry, I don't give my phone number out online, but you can always send me a direct message on Instagram or on Facebook or something like that. And I generally can get back to everybody, hopefully. So we'll see. But I'll do my best. If not, you can always leave comments and questions on my postings, which then will trigger, another video or something like this. So self-talk is everything. Practice how you talk to yourself. And then the last thing I want to talk about is a quick tool for if you're feeling, let's say, not smart or not beautiful or not successful or whatever you might not be feeling that day that you want to generate. So when I'm feeling not something, I go about my day trying to make every person I come in contact with feel that. So because those words are going to come out of my mouth, and even though I'm talking to someone else, I'm talking to myself at the same time. So if I'm not feeling beautiful, for example, that day, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find everything beautiful that I can, whether that's me like taking out my Bluetooth headphones, which I always freaking have in my ears. And sometimes I really need to just like disconnect here, and looking at the flowers and being like, wow, this is absolutely beautiful. When I come in contact with someone and I like their shirt or their hairstyle, I'm going to tell them, wow, your hair looks awesome. Or have you lost weight? Like, you look good. Or something in your face is different. Like, if I'm not feeling beautiful or amazing that day, I'm going to look for beauty in this world. And I'm going to also point out beauty in other people to help them, you know, elevate toward, and I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know if they're feeling, maybe they woke up that morning and they looked in the mirror and they're like, damn, I am sexy. And maybe they didn't even need me to tell them, you know, hey, your hair looks great, because they're like, I already know, girl, you know? So I don't know where that person is. I just know that wherever I might be in that point, I set out on a mission to make everybody else feel that way too. So if I'm not feeling, important or heard or whatever, I go out and all the people that I come in contact with either, get a compliment, or really I make sure I'm hearing everybody, especially if I'm not feeling heard that day. But yeah, so those are my tips to really practice it. The more you do it, the better you'll get. Remind yourself. So set those reminders in your phone, in your house, everywhere. It's a training. It's not a one-stop shop. Self-talk is everything. So practice how you talk to yourself. Practice. So number one, use practice on how you talk to yourself. So all these kind of build on each other here. And then my tool for when I'm feeling a certain way and how I bring that out into the world. So if you're not feeling a certain something, go out and make it your mission to find that in the world and to make everybody else that you come in contact with feel that way, because the more those words come out of your mouth, the more you're going to believe them yourself. And so for those two friends, one of them I think is not on social media. The other one is, so you guys know who you are. I don't need to announce any names or whatever, but thanks for asking those questions, and thanks for reaching out to me. And thank you for your honesty and vulnerability and authenticity in order to open up to me. And the same thing goes for people I don't know in, let's say, real life, but you guys are we are a tribe, we are friends, and everything. I've been sharing my life on social media since I was 16 or 17 years old. So 12, 15 years, something like this. So we're all homies. We're all homies, whether you're new or you just started following me, or you've been around for a while. Don't forget to ask those questions and to be open and authentic, and I'll try to make videos and things like that for it. But it just said here that it paused on Instagram due to poor connection, but I think I've said everything I need to say for now. I'm going to go shower and get myself ready for the day. And someone asked here, what is your name? My name is Lunden. A lot of people ask me that actually, because London's not a very common name, especially here in Europe and other places too. And they see Life Like Lunden as my name, but they're not sure. Or sometimes on Facebook, my personal page is Lunden Michelle. And so they think my name is Michelle. Anyways, my name is Lunden. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. If this spoke to you or something came up from this, let me know. You can put it in the comments or send me a message directly. I love you all very much. You are awesome. Mwah. So I'm going to end on Facebook and end here on Instagram. Bye, guys. Love ya.